LIV Duels UK at JCB, there is a lot of hate going around the comment section of the video on Rick Shields' YouTube channel. What I want to do is take a look at some of these comments, get your thoughts on what is happening, what your take on LIV Duels UK was. I'll give my thoughts on it as well, and I have like an example, a personal example, something that I think is relative to what's going on here. And so we'll go through all that, maybe not in that exact order, but we're gonna do the best we can. Let's first just recap, no spoilers here if you haven't seen it. I watched all 3 hours of that thing, all of it. And what I did like was I did sort of like the format US versus UK. I thought that was cool. And hair there, it's bothering me. And so that was cool. I like the 3 creators and 3 pros on USA versus 3 and 3 on UK. So I like that. What I didn't like, and I've never been a fan of this, and other channels have done the exact same thing, is you play a hole and then you swoosh back out and you play it again with the next group. I'm not a fan of that because I feel like I see the same hole. Well, you do see the same hole twice back to back. So it gets a little boring for me to do that. Just say, okay, now we're going to back up and do it again with different people. Personally, I think I would prefer if one group goes off the front 9 and one group goes off the back 9, and then we get to see the whole 18 holes, but we don't get to see the same holes repeated. And then they could finish up kind of at the same spot on 9 and 18. That'd be cool. Or you can reroute the course so they even finish on the same green. I don't know. But the way that's not my favorite. All right. Nonetheless, I liked the duels, all 3 hours of it. I watched it. It was entertaining. Now, let's go through some of these comments here because a couple creators in particular are getting a ton of hate, specifically Micah Morris and Evan Thompson. So we'll read some of the comments, and I'll get your take and what you guys thought. I'll give you my thoughts on that as well. So let's dive in. You just go to the comment section here on Rick Shields' channel, and there's a lot of great comments, like, why does Kevin not seem like the coolest guy on the course? He is a cool guy. So that is great. Micah working Ian, and Ian responds, you know, Micah was talking trash a little bit to Ian, and Ian responds, you have a girlfriend or married? And he says, God bless her. You know, so he brings it back to him. And as you go through these, it's interesting to see just the level of like, I don't want to say not like or dislike, but let's go through here. You let me know. Bubba and Quan dynamic is the funniest thing, keeps getting better. I would agree with that. I think Bubba Watson and Luke Quan was fantastic. I love their dynamic. We've seen them before, and I think they're just a great duo together. Here we go. Watching Seb, Micah, and Evan was a tough watch. There was a lot of comments specifically. Here's one that I thought was funny. Micah and Evan are legends in their own minds. And Rick Shields hearted that. I don't think that was necessarily a compliment, but I think it's funny that they said it and then Rick hearts it. I don't think Rick's actually doing the hearting. Somebody else might be the one. Okay. It says here, Evan is the least accomplished golfer here and opens his mouth the most. Micah commenting on how long Ian takes to hit. Wow. Who the blank are you? You left good with Grant, and where are you? Like, a lot of like harsh comments there. So I don't know. That's tough. But so there was a lot of banter. Go through the comments. I encourage you to go through those and give me your thoughts on what was happening. To sum it up, Evan Thompson and Micah Morris, they were chirping a lot, talking a lot of trash to specifically, Ian Poulter. And I get it. Ian is kind of a trash talker, gets under your skin kind of guy. However, the challenge here is, and I think a lot of people picked up on, is Ian Poulter's a golf legend, a Ryder Cup legend, and you're playing his sport and you're talking trash to him. That's a rough one for me. Like, there's, I think, a level of respect that I think he's earned, right? Ian's earned that. So when these young guys come in and throw some shade over in his direction about how long it takes to play and whatever it is, I think it's going to be met with a lot of comments coming from the interweb of people who are huge fans of Ian Poulter. So that's a rough one, especially when Ian's older, right? Late 40s. And then these young 25-year-olds come. Of course, they're going to bomb it. And these two guys are super long hitters, and they bomb the ball super far. And then you start talking trash to a champion professional athlete in his sport who would wax you any day of the week on the golf course, and you're trash talking how you hit it farther than him. You tell me, what are your thoughts on doing that? Is it cool? Is it okay to do in the duels format? Now, the duels people or whoever edited this video could have edited it out and not put it in there, but they chose to not do that. They chose to leave it in. So on one hand, I think you've got to look at that and say, hey, they wanted it in there, right? So they got it in there. And that's something that LIV and the duels and the people who put it in there, I think, should look at and say, hey, is this the look we want? Maybe it is. I have to say, it's like when you're watching a TV show, even for me, there's people you like on the show and there's people that you don't like on the show. Both keep an audience engaged. So they could have had that in mind of saying, hey, let's keep it because it's engaging. And on Evan's personal Instagram channel the other day, he did post a story. It's not there anymore, but saying something to the effect of, hey, you know, I'm a really competitive guy. I am pretty intense. It was a great, you know, opportunity. And, you know, but basically acknowledging the comment section that has been going on the YouTube channel, on the video. So he acknowledged it and talked about it a little bit. And so I think it's like it's known what happened, and he acknowledged it. So he's feeling something to the point where he mentioned something on his channel. I want to know your thoughts, right? Let's be objective here. I don't mind watching people that I like and don't like. I'm not saying I don't like him. I'm just saying if I'm a viewer, if there's people I like and don't like, I'm equally going to watch because I want to see that dynamic. So I think for the viewer's sake, that might have been the direction and the idea of putting that particular edit together with all of that in there. And there was a lot of little things also in the video that were interesting. Let me know what you think about this. Like, Evan really has a pretty big personality, and there was moments where he really came out. For example, he was betting or offering the Four Brothers guys $100 to hit some shots, and really kind of just out of nowhere, hey, you come and hit a shot. So I guess that's tough because you're basically adding time to everybody's day when you do something like that, right? Let me take over and add a shot, a whole element to this particular moment. And hey, it's already a long day. You're filming 2 holes. A lot of guys have to wait. You might want to speed up. I don't know. Is that something you got to be conscious of or not? Does it matter? Or is it great entertainment? I want to know from you what you thought. He also had some banter with Kevin Na. And let me know your thoughts on this, where he said, paraphrasing here, I got you tee to green. You take care of the putting. Kind of like that. Like basically, I'll hit the tee shots and get us on the green. You do the rest. Acknowledging Kevin Na's putting prowess, but also discounting the fact that the dude's a champion golfer. I think he's pretty good off the tee and hitting iron shots to the green. Just because you hit it far doesn't mean it's better, right? So let me know your thoughts on that. These are things that were said, and other things like, what are you hitting? What are you hitting? I'm Kevin Na. I'm in a 6-iron. Okay, cool. I like that. It's tricky. It's like a high school basketball player asking Michael Jordan, like, hey, where are you going to be? Like, make sure you're here because I'm going to be over there for the pass. Like, I don't think Michael Jordan's worried about anything. Or Kevin Na, I'm pretty sure he's confident in his club selection. But your thoughts? Some people love that. Like, maybe it's that team camaraderie where you're really pitching in together and you're getting that team vibe going. Maybe that works. I don't know. I'm asking you. I'm not saying I like it or dislike it. These are things that just happen within the video that I want your specific comments on those types of things. If you haven't seen it, be sure to watch it. I think it's a great video. I really liked it. In the teams for LIV, we had Rick Shields team up with Ian Poulter, Seb on golf, Seb Carmichael, with Terrell Hatton. I actually thought that was a good pairing. A lot of comments weren't thrilled with Seb. I know Seb. I really like Seb for many reasons. One is he's very clear when he talks in terms of he's not using any wasted energy or words or filler. He just says it and you got it the first time through and you move on. And so I like having him there. He's a great connector. And I think he was perfect for Terrell to bring him out. Terrell's a wild card here, loose cannon, unstable potentially. I don't know, but it seemed like he needed the right person to help him have that lighthearted energy that he does have, and I felt like Seb brought that out. So I was happy for Seb. With Jimmy Bullard, I guess, soccer player, with Lee Westwood, and I did like their camaraderie, their cart cam stuff. I thought they were really good together, and Jimmy seemed like a good guy to have on the UK team. I don't know the soccer world, so I wouldn't know necessarily who he was. And I already talked about Luke Kwan and Bubba. I love that pairing. I love those two guys together. Then Evan was playing with Kevin Na. We talked about that. And Micah with Taylor Gooch. And so there was a lot of even Micah trash talking as well. I'm not going to just pick out Evan. Micah was doing a ton of trash talking. He's not very good at it. Or you tell me if he's good at it or not. I didn't think he was. That's my take. He's not the best trash talker. And I think a lot of people think that trash talking is sort of like a badge, an award you can win. Look at me, I'm a great trash talker. You get some Boy Scout patch because you're able to do that. It's not necessarily true, right? You don't have to talk trash to at all. You don't have to, especially if you're not good at it, don't do it. And if Michael Jordan and Charles Barkley are talking trash to each other on the basketball court, that's fine. They're two pros on the same court playing the same sport. Mickelson isn't going to necessarily talk trash to Charles Barkley on the golf course. That wouldn't make much sense, right? So that's why I don't understand why it makes sense to talk trash to another pro when you're just not a pro at that sport. But I don't know. But if you're really good at it, and there's other ways to kind of do it, but you don't have to do it, in my opinion, is what I'm saying. All right. So here is the scenario I was thinking about when I was watching this and when I was reading through the comments, and then especially after I watched Evan's story on his Instagram page, I sort of kind of felt sorry for him. Because oh my gosh, you could tell the comments affected him in a way where he had to respond on social media and say, hey, I guess you guys didn't like me, but I'm a competitive guy, whatever. And, I had a great time, real grateful, whatever, for the opportunity. And at first I was like, man, that poor dude, maybe he's feeling it because of the comments. And then I remembered something that happened to me a long time ago. And I was like, no. Sometimes you got to take it. Sometimes it's good in the long run. So I was in high school. I went surfing at a place in San Diego here called Wind and Sea. That's one of the few localized breaks here in San Diego, meaning that when you paddle out, respect is an understatement. You better not only have respect, but there's like a hierarchy of things that have to take place. And so I paddled out with my uncle, takes me out there. He's like 13 years older than me. So I'm 14, 13 maybe, 14, 15, whatever. We paddle out to Wind and Sea. It's a world-class surf spot. Reef break out here in San Diego. I paddle out, I catch a wave, and I'm a young kid, paddle back out, and I'm paddling back out, and this guy paddles up to me. And he paddles right up to me, and he punches me in the face. Just cold cocks me. I'm sitting on my surfboard. I was like, whoop-ow. I was like, what? And I paddle over to my uncle, and I was like, hey, Uncle Rob, let's go jack this guy. Let's go get him. My uncle's laughing at me. He's like, you deserve that. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, you dropped in on the guy. And I'm like, what? I'm like, I didn't even realize it. But so there's in surfing etiquette, you're both catching a wave. If it's going this way, right, to the right, and there's a guy deeper than you, you pull out. Well, I just went because I was on a shorter board and I went faster than him. So I was like, and then he paddled up and punched me in the face. In other words, even my uncle knew I needed to get punched in the face. And that's family. So I was like, all right, whatever. So he's like, you should apologize to that guy. So I did. I was like, hey, man, sorry, whatever. And so the guy still like cussed me out and stuff. I had to, one, get punched in the face. Two, I had to learn the rules of engagement, which are like, you show up and there's a protocol. These guys, let's say Evan, for example, newer on the scene in terms of YouTube land. Like he kind of came up out of like the Instagram world and he went into YouTube and he's kind of making his run. Well, now he steps on, let's say the biggest stage for him, and the comments are the punch in the face. And I'm like, okay, sometimes you got to learn a little lesson in life and then you're better for it. So I think the guy will be better for it because sometimes you got to get knocked back down a little bit. And that's what I feel like happened here. Let me know your thoughts on that. Sometimes it's good. And if you come back up, he seems like he's an athlete. He's a competitor. I feel like he'll learn whatever he needs to learn. Don't know, you tell me. And then he'll dust himself off, get back on, and be better for it. But there's a learning process here. You don't just roll in and you are perfect. It's hard to do. And some people I needed it, a punch in the face when I was surfing that one day. Since then, I've learned my lesson. And now when you go out, you kind of sit on the edge, new spot. Sometimes you go out to a new spot and you don't catch a wave that day, next day, 2 weeks later, you don't catch a wave. You wait. People get to know you. You paddle around. You catch little insiders. You catch junk that nobody wants. You earn your way up. That's what I feel like some of these guys may need as this YouTube world evolves. Either way, I did love the LIV Duels UK, minus the couple things I said, but looking forward to the next one coming up, Chicago. So my guess is Michael Jordan's playing, but we'll see. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks for listening. See you guys soon.